President Trump, welcome. This is not officially a televisit, though, as you probably realize, I've done hundreds. But I hope you'll indulge me and let you be the patient, and I'll be the doctor here. And I promise you, no copay.
Okay. Sounds good to me, Mark.
So the first question is what we call the chief complaint, which is, briefly, how are you feeling now?
I feel really good. I feel very strong. I know a lot of people that have had the COVID or the China virus, as I call it, because it came from China. But I feel really, really strong. And a lot of people don't feel that way sometimes for a while afterwards, but very good.
What about symptoms that you had last Friday, like when you went into Walter Reed? What were the two most prominent symptoms that you had?
I think didn't feel strong, didn't feel really strong. I didn't have a problem with breathing, which a lot of people seem to have. I had none of that, but I didn't feel very strong. I didn't feel very vital. I didn't feel like the president of the U.S. should feel. And I knew there was something a little bit off. And the doctors at Walter Reed were incredible. They came from Johns Hopkins. They came from everywhere. It's good to be president, I guess, but they were really great people. But I would say more weakness than anything else, Mark.
You know, Mr. President, I got to tell you something confidentially. My patients never listen to me. No matter how hard I try, they don't do what I say half the time.
Yeah.
Did that occur to you where the doctors were telling you something and you were negotiating with them, or did you just do what they said?
I did negotiate, but, ultimately I have a lot of respect for these doctors. They're really the best doctors, I think, in the world. And Walter Reed, I've seen the work they do on the military and people coming in so badly injured that, like you've never seen before. I have a lot of respect. So I really tended to listen, but generally maybe I wouldn't. But I did tend to listen to this group.
When you were in the hospital, what was bothering you the most? What were you feeling?
I just think that it was just you were tired. You were, it was just getting to you from the standpoint you didn't have that same energy level. And, my life is based a little bit on energy, and you didn't have it. And I don't know, it could have led to bad things from that point. I don't know. But I got lucky, I think, with a certain medicine. But it really was something. I took a certain medicine that was, very miraculous to me, I think. I really don't believe it's just in the head either. I think I really believe it worked.
Were you scared? Were you frightened?
Well, I took the Regeneron. And Eli Lilly makes a very similar medicine, but you have Regeneron, you have the Eli Lilly version of it. And it just, within a period of 24 hours, I felt very different. I think I could have left the hospital a lot earlier. But it made a tremendous difference, Mark, and, markedly so. And I just felt very good. You would have sort of a sore throat, just to add to what we were saying, but I felt really very, very good after taking this for a period of time. It's a transfusion, not a shot. And, I'd like to send it to everybody. In fact, I've said I'm going to send it to everybody that's got the problem, and we're going to send it free of charge, including seniors, of course, but we're going to send it to everybody.
Did you want to leave the hospital earlier than they said, Mr. President?
They wanted to keep me for observation. They wanted to be sure it was good, but I did. I was there for, I guess, 3.5 days. They wanted to keep me. I wanted to leave after the first day. I really felt I was in not bad shape after the first day. I think I would have been in much worse shape had I not taken this medication.
How long did they want to keep you, the doctors?
I don't know exactly, but they kept me for the time. I stayed for the time that they needed me. And they've done a lot of tests. They've done tremendous testing. And right now I'm medication-free. I'm not taking any medications as of, probably 8 hours ago or so. I'm medication-free, which frankly makes me feel good. I don't like medication.
Mr. President, if you would feel comfortable, can you tell me a little bit about the tests you had in the hospital? Did you have a CAT scan? What did that show?
Yeah, they tested the lungs. They have incredible equipment at Walter Reed. In fact, they said, no, you could leave your jacket on. That's the first that's ever happened. Leave your shirt on, leave your jacket on. I said, I'll take it off anyway if you want. But literally, they tested the lungs. They checked for the lungs, and they tested it with different machinery. They have incredible stuff that I've never even seen before. And it tested good. Initially, I think they had some congestion in there. but ultimately it tested good. And with each day it got better. And I think that's why they wanted me to stay, frankly. But the CAT scans were amazing. The equipment was incredible. I've never seen equipment like this before.
Could you talk to me about when you went outside Walter Reed in PPE and the drive that you took and well-wishers and what you were thinking when you did that?
Well, I had tremendous numbers of people. I could hear them from the hospital, and I was way up high and, this very fortified military hospital that's, built to the highest standard. And yet, through these very powerful windows, I could hear people screaming and shouting and with love, with real love. And after 2 days, I said, I want to go out and say hello to the people. And I went to Secret Service, and these are the people that are with me all the time. And they said, we have no problem, sir. I said, I just want to take a drive by them and just wave. And you saw what happened. It was a great display of love out there. I don't think there was one negative person. And there were many, many, many people. But I don't think there was anybody negative out there. There was just, they went crazy when they saw the van go by, the car go by. And the people in were protected. They were very heavily protected because at that time, I guess I would have been positive. But they were very, very protected. And they've been with me, they've been with me for a long time. And they understand. But they also thought it was very important. I thought it was very important to show my affection for them. They were standing out there 24 hours a day. You saw that. I mean, every time you'd be on television, you'd see them in the background. And I just thought, I love the people I love the people of this country. And I thought it would have been very disrespectful if I was there for 3.5 days, and these people are there standing late at night, early in the morning, and I didn't go out and at least give them a little wave. And that's what I did. And I'm very glad I did it.
Mr. President, lessons learned from this, from your own illness, that you would apply to the ship, to stewarding the ship forward in the fight in the pandemic, and how you can apply it to other people that have COVID-19 and how to prevent getting COVID-19. Lessons learned.
It's such a great question. I think the biggest thing is that I did do it early. Now, I have such great access to medical. We have White House doctor who's great, and you have so many great doctors. So it's a lot easier for me than somebody that's, doesn't have access to a doctor so easily, where it's a big deal to see a doctor. But, here we have them all over the White House, frankly. They're watching every corner. But I think very important for me was very early. As soon as I felt something, and, and I'm thinking about it because I see what's going on, and I have a lot of people are around me, even though there's tremendous testing, but a lot of people are around me, so I think about it. And I know there's a danger, but I can't be somebody that goes into a basement and just hides in a basement for the rest of my life. I'm running a country, the greatest country in the world. So what I think the big secret for me was I got there very early. And, I think it would have gotten a lot worse. One of the doctors said he thought it would have gotten a lot worse. I just think that even these medications, they're a lot better if you get them early than if you get them late. It will react probably better. So I think going in early is a big factor in my case.
Dexamethasone, I've given it to a lot of patients. I've given steroids to a lot of patients. Most have tolerated it well. Sometimes there's issues with anxiety or behavioral issues. Did you have any problem with that?
No, I didn't even know I had it. I didn't know what it was. It's a form of a steroid, but it keeps the swelling down of the lungs, as I understand it. And I tolerated it very well. I don't take it anymore, but it was pretty short term. During the course of the medicine, that was one of the medicines. And no, I think I tolerated it very well, Mark. And it keeps the swelling down, and that's important.
What are you taking right now, as of today?
I think really nothing. We pretty much finished, and now we'll see how things go, but pretty much nothing. We had our final doses of just about everything. Actually, the original transfusion, that's supposed to last for about 4 months, the antibodies. And I think you're supposed to be protected anywhere from 2 to 4 months, and maybe longer than that. I don't know.
Are you going to donate your own plasma, Mr. President?
Well, I will. Nobody's asked me that question, actually, but I will. If they want me to do it, I'd love to do it.
Are you tested? I heard you said you were going to test again today. Have you been retested?
I have been retested. And I haven't even found out numbers or anything yet, but I've been retested, and I know I'm at either the bottom of the scale or free.
When is your next test going to be?
I don't know. Probably tomorrow, Mark. They test every couple of days, I guess. But it's really at a level now that's been great to see it disappear.
So I have a question, and this is my own fantasy, Mr. President. All of this back and forth controversy about the next debate. And if you test negative, and you've said you want it to be in person, how would you feel about a debate outside on Miami Beach?
Well, I'd have no trouble with it at all. In fact, when we have rallies outside, we've had no problem whatsoever. Outside is better than inside, as you know, with this crazy thing that's gone on. But I would have no problem with it. But, you know, we've always had a problem with this commission. This commission's been ridiculous, frankly. But who wants to do a debate on a computer? I don't. You know, virtual debate. No, you got to be there. We did great on the last debate. You have to be there. You have to see the person. You can't do it on a computer. Besides that, you know, Joe has a tendency to get the answers and read them off a computer for when he's asked questions. So I'd rather, I would love to do it outside. Would be fine as far as I'm concerned.
Where do you think you got the virus? At what point do you think you contracted it, looking back?
You know, I don't know. They had some big events at the White House, and perhaps there. I don't really know. Nobody really knows for sure. Numerous people have contracted it, but, you know, people have contracted it all over the world. It's highly contagious. That's one thing you learn. This is a contagious disease, and generally you get better from it, but we also now have medicines that will help a lot. And if you look at mortality rate, I think it's up 95 or 85%, Mark. I think you've seen that. You pointed it out to me. What we're doing now with the medicines and all of the things is incredible. But, you know, especially younger people, you look, I wish they'd open schools. I hope they open schools. Some of the states are closed, and the cure is worse than the problem itself in many cases. It's a terrible thing.
Mr. President, a final message from you to America about what they can learn from your illness and your recovery, which many would say is inspiring. A final message.
I just have such great respect for the doctors and labs, scientists, the people that work on this. They're doing incredibly well. I have incredible respect and love for the families that have suffered so badly. This is something that came to us out of, I don't know, I won't be able to tell you yet. Maybe at some point I'll be able to report exactly why it came to us, but it came out of China. It shouldn't have happened. They should have never let it happen. But they suffered plenty also, far more than people understand. But this is something that should not have been allowed to, they should not have allowed this to come out to the world, not only to the United States, to the world. But I have such respect for the people that have suffered, and my sympathies to those families that have been so horribly hurt and just horribly hurt. And again, the respect for the doctors and for the technicians and for the scientists is incredible, because I've seen what they've done. And it's incredible the job that they've done in a short period of time. Over a 6-month period, the job that they've done is incredible. And you'll see that very soon with the medicines and with the vaccines.
Mr. President, I really appreciate that last answer and the interview, and I want to tell you how much it means to us that you appeared for your first on-camera interview tonight on Tucker Carlson Tonight. Thank you so much for joining me.
Well, thank you very much, Mark. It's my great honor. Thank you.
Do you know what the CAT scan showed?
Pretty good. Ultimately, it was good. I think it was. I think they were. It was good. It was. It cleaned out, largely cleaned out when I left. It was in good shape.
You know, I myself have noted that, of course, you have millions and millions of well-wishers out there. I thought everybody was going to wish you well. How do you feel about the fact that not everybody did, that some of the nastiness came out? How did that make you feel as a patient?
Well, we're getting very good poll numbers in the real polls, and I think they think we're going to win, and I think they're not happy about it, and they should be happy. You know, we just have the interests of the country at heart. And, you know, if it weren't for this administration, we wouldn't have these medicines. We have tremendous medicines coming out. We have tremendous vaccines coming out. The vaccines are going to be very, very soon. I think, frankly, politically, it would be sooner than even Election Day, but I think politically a lot of people would prefer that we wait a little bit longer. But, you know, lives are at stake. I don't want to do that. But we have tremendous vaccines from Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, Pfizer, and these are, therapeutics, I guess you'd call them, when you think of what, I was just discussing with you. But I consider it a cure because I got better. So I don't know how that's a therapeutic as opposed to a cure, but I got better. And I get better very rapidly. And to me, I consider it more important right now than the vaccine, because you go into the hospital where you have people that are sick and you give them a transfusion. And I really envision them being able to leave over the next, day or 2 or 3 or something, depending on the amount of problem they have.
Governors are debating immunity cards right now. What do you think about that? Should people produce antibodies? I mean, it sounds very futuristic in kind of a strange way. How do you feel about immunity cards?
Well, I don't know too much about it, but what is going to happen is, as you get this, when you get better, they say you don't catch it. Now, I don't know for what period. I've heard a lifetime, and I've heard 4 months, and I've heard a year. I've heard different. I'm not sure they know yet. But as you get better, Mark, you supposedly, you just don't catch it anymore. You're immune. So I don't know about a card. I had not heard the concept of a card, but, it sounds like maybe I've heard of worse ideas. But bottom line, as you get better from this, they say you're immune. The only thing I don't think they know yet, Mark, you could ask, maybe I'll ask you, I don't know about the length of time that you're immune. Is it a lifetime or is it less than that?
We don't know yet, but it looks like from the early science it's at least several months, and that would put you in this category.